Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tuts, and today I'm going to teach you about Drush. And Drush is one of the coolest things. It's hard to articulate how exactly cool it is until you get into using it, and things that you do all the time in Drupal become really easy. So what Drush is it's a command line interface for doing things in Drupal. And that's a way simplified version of explaining it. But you can go to drupal.org/project/Drush. And keep in mind, if you're on a server, you're going to have like SSH access, and you're going to have to be able to install things on your server. And if you're on Mac OSX, then awesome. I will show you how to do it here. And we're going to be doing it manually because you could install it with something like Pear, or you used to be able to install it with Homebrew, although I don't see that on their GitHub page anymore. But those tools, it ends up being basically a loop of trying to find stuff. To have Pear working on OSX, you have to get Xcode or the Xcode command line tools, and then it eventually just ends up taking a long time, when really it's not that hard to just install it on your own. So we're going to do it the manual way, and it's going to be nice and easy. So if you're scared of command line or anything like that, don't worry. I'm going to tell you what to type, and everything's going to be alright. Cool. So we're going to go to this project on GitHub, and don't worry, you don't have to know Git, and you don't have to have a GitHub account, because all we're simply going to do is click download zip. You could clone this if you wanted to, if you're a Git person, but I don't want to have that barrier into this video, so maybe once I do Git tutorials, we can go back to this or something like that. But we're just going to click download zip right here, and you know, very well GitHub's layout may have changed by then. But if it isn't, it's going to be right here in the lower right, and you'll notice it has downloaded a zip file to my downloads folder, and here's that zip file. What's in here? Well, not a whole lot you really need to know about. You can check out the README file if you want, but there's not a whole lot in there other than how to install it. And in fact, these videos are going to go over most of what you need to know. So, what's the first step to installing Drush? Well, if you haven't installed any command line anything before, it's going to seem weird. But first thing we have to do is put this in our user local libraries folder. And I don't know if we have to, but it's a good idea to have it there. So I have this Drush master folder. I'm actually just going to rename this to be just Drush, just like that. So the first thing we need to do here is we need to actually be able to see invisible files and stuff like that. In fact, it's nice to be able to turn those off and on. To do that, I've copied and pasted this. I'll have this in the comments here. It's defaults, right, com.apple.finder in finder in caps, and then space apple show all files space true. So this is going to turn on hidden files, and then we can say kill all and then Finder, and that's going to reset Finder. And once Finder's been reset here, you see my dragging my Finder in here, you'll see we now have all these like grayed out folders and files that you never saw before. Well, these are your hidden files, and they're going to come in handy for something like this because Apple hides a bunch of stuff they don't think you should be able to see. So we're going to scroll down here and look at this user folder, USR folder, and keep in mind you want to be careful with these hidden files because chances are they're hidden because if you delete them or modify them, then they can mess things up in your system. So be careful with what you're doing here. We have the user folder, and then we're going to make a local folder. It's going to ask for my password. Local, and then I'm going to have a lib folder. And now let's put this Drush folder in here entirely. Now I need to make this this Drush executable. I have to make this actually executable. So to do that, I'm going to have to run a command, and that's going to be chmod. So we're going to type sudo and then chmod then U plus X, and space. And now we're going to type a /, and then we're going to go to that directory that we just put this Drush file. So it's USR, and then /, and then local. And now keep in mind, if you're new to command line, you can start typing the first couple of letters and then hit tab, and it'll complete it for you. Then lib, then drush. And now we want this to actually be on the drush executable file. So this just drush, so we do /drush, and then just the word drush. Now we can hit enter. It's going to ask for my password. Enter. Cool. Now at this point, drush is executable. So if we wanted to just say user /local /lib /drush, we could hit enter, and it's actually going to run drush. And in fact, this is what it normally looks like when you type the word drush. It tells you all of the drush commands that are available. So when I explained that drush is extremely useful, I think that this super long list of drush commands is proof enough that there's a lot you can do with drush. And even things like clearing cache becomes effortless. So we have drush installed here technically, but if we type the word drush in command line, it says command not found. So we need to create a link to our user bin folder. So this is super easy, and it might scare you, creating a link, but it's not. So we're going to type sudo space ln -s, and then we're going to browse to that drush file. So again, /usr, and then local lib drush, just like that, space. And now we're going to want to put this link to our bin folder, and we're going to do /user, and then bin, and then just the word drush, no /. So what this is actually doing is it's really just creating a link into our user bin folder for this drush, so that when we type the command drush, it's going to look in our user bin, and that's going to point it to our where it's actually living, our local library drush. So if we hit enter here, the command is done, and we should be ready to go. So let's type in drush, and now instead of command not found, we have access to all of the cool things that drush can do. So in the next video, I'm going to show you some of the most basic drush commands. In fact, it's going to be really basic, but we're going to get into some really cool stuff. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tuts. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment on the video or hit us up at Twitter at Level Up Tuts. Let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear from you. This is going to be one of many new Drupal tutorials, because after we do drush, which is a great thing, we're going to be going into Omega 4, which actually uses drush in some very cool ways. So keep watching. We're going to make some really cool Drupal stuff happen. So as always, this is Scott Tolinsky, and thanks for watching. Bye.